satisfied, I'm on my way.
Michael Smerconish.
I've seen all good people.
No, Greg was busy yesterday.
So satisfied.
All these new production elements. It's great. Appreciate it. I often enjoy talking, reminiscing about Spectrum concerts. Wachovia Center too, but Spectrum more so because it was my era. Dennis Parrish is a listener of mine. I get a lot of good email. I get a lot of good letters. This is really, this is in the upper percentile, to put it in SAT terms, of the communications that I receive. And he's going to be in studio in just a moment, and so too will Ike Richman, who's the big mahaf of the Spectrum, which is scheduled to be taken down. I'm going to try and broker a transaction between Mr. Richman and Parrish. And wait until you hear Dennis and where he's been, what he's done, and what his request is of me more directly to Ike. I hope that sounds sufficiently enticing, but stick around because we're about to talk about Spectrum concerts with a man who knows a great deal about that subject. Ike Richman is the big mahaf at the Wachovia Center, the Spectrum, and all things in South Philadelphia. Thanks for coming in the studio.
I'm a little mahaf.
You're the big mahaf.
I'm a little mahaf, and thanks for having me.
Throwing Luco any bones. You're the man.
I'm a little mahaf.
All right. Well, we love having you here.
I love being here.
Ike, when I got an email from the gentleman who's across from you now, and his name is Dennis Parrish. Dennis, this is Ike. Ike, this is Dennis.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
I said, I've got to get Ike in here and try and broker a deal. All right? But before we get to the nature of the deal, first, let me tell you about Dennis and where he's been. Dennis essentially has been everywhere when it comes to Spectrum concerts. Right, Dennis?
Well, a good many, especially in the 70s. That's when I attended the most.
And what he saved all his stubs. He sent to me this lengthy 11-page letter, all his stubs, and remembrances of all his different shows. For example, your first show ever, Dennis. What?
Eric Clapton in the band Blind Faith. He was with Stevie Winwood, Ginger Baker, and Rick Gretsch.
When was that?
July 16th, 1969.
How much did you pay for that ticket?
$6.50.
How do you like that, Ike?
I'm jealous. And for a lot of reasons, because I like going to concerts, but also I am a ticket stub collector.
Really?
And I was in envy at his collection.
So, July 16, 1969, first major concert you ever attended.
Yes.
What did you follow that up with?
Oh, the next one might have been, is it the Stones? You have the letter.
You don't have the letter?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have a copy.
I have the letter. July 16, 69, you go to see Blind Faith, meaning Clapton, Winwood, Ginger Baker, and Rick, is it Gretsch?
Gretsch.
Rick Gretsch. November 25, 69, Rolling Stones, B.B. King, Terry Reid. July 8, 1970, Jethro Tull, Cactus, Blogwin Pig? The heck is that?
Yeah, it was a band.
Yeah, but you missed an important note in his letter. He contracted chicken pox at that concert.
Yes,
that's it. When he's 17.
Yeah.
August 19, 1970, Savoy Brown, Dr. John and the Night Trippers, and Chicken Shack. Why did your parents let you out of the house to go see Savoy Brown, Dr. John, and the Chicken Shack all in one show?
Because they were clueless.
All right, then it's Grand. I have to skip around because there's so many. Grand Funk with Small Faces, War, Eric Burden, another show. 10 Years After, and Procol Harum and Leon Russell. January 15, 1971, you paid $4.50 to see Alice Cooper, the Chambers Brothers, and Commander Cody. February 5, 1971, you paid $4 to see Little Richard, the Chambers Brothers, and the Allman Brothers, including Duane Allman and Barry Oakley. You say, what happened with Little Richard that night?
He never performed that night. In fact,
what happened?
He came out right in the middle of an Allman Brothers song and complained about either the money he was making or some arrangements. And he interrupted their song. They looked dumbfounded when he came out there and just took over the microphone.
Pretty healthy for a guy who went to this many shows. Huh, Ike? He's weathered the storm.
It's incredible. He looks like a regular guy that's probably been to maybe 2 shows, but
April 2nd, 1971. $4 he pays to see Black Sabbath, Mountain, and how about this? Humble Pie with Peter Frampton, who'll be here in 20 minutes. All right?
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you could still hear.
April 6, 71. Price is going up. $4.50. Canned Heat with special guest John Lee Hooker. White Trash with Edgar Winter and B.B. King. Then Johnny Winter and the Allman Brothers and Redbone. Oh, June 8, 71. Jefferson Airplane. Again, White Trash with Edgar Winter. You say White Trash was neither advertised nor announced that evening, and they brought the roof down. The Jefferson Airplane were not very good this particular night. Rod Stewart and Deep Purple. Now I'm skipping around because there are just so many of these. Alice Cooper and Humble Pie. Again, I guess they came back because they did so well on the first go-round of that tour. Yes, with Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Who had the top billing?
Gee, I think Emerson, Lake, and Palmer did. I'm pretty sure they did.
What was it, 71?
Yeah, 71.
Yes started the headline probably right after that, so it was probably an ELP show.
Yeah.
January of 72, Spectrum concerts are now $5. Jack Bruce, Leslie West, Corky Lang, and Foghat. Jethro Tull and Wild Turkey. This was the Aqualung tour you saw.
Yes.
Led Zeppelin, June 13, 1972. The Rolling Stones with Stevie Wonder on the same bill, July 20, 1972.
Yeah,
Question, was that the early show or the late show? They played 2 shows that day.
That particular day, really?
Yeah, 1972, there were 2 shows.
Have you chronicled the history?
Yes, we actually created
your box.
We created a website called RememberTheSpectrum.com and have put every event in chronological order, and we created a search key so you could type in search for the band that you want or the event that you want, or you could just go look at the year, the date. But it's RememberTheSpectrum.com. It's up there now, and you can check it out.
What's going to happen with the Spectrum?
Well, at the end of the Phantoms hockey kick soccer season, we've decided at Comcast Spectacor that this will be the last year of the Spectrum. There's been no decision date of when it will come down, but this will be the last year. And in its place, we're constructing Philly Live, which is a multi-entertainment complex with retail, restaurants, and possibly a hotel.
You know what brings back memories is even to see that his ticket stubs, which he's handed to me, are Ticketron.
Oh, they're amazing.
Ticketron ticket stubs.
Some of them are not even computerized tickets, if you realize that those had to be printed in advance.
Look at this!
Those are just the 70s. You have more coming. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that we actually have a concert tonight, and it's the Police.
At the Spectrum?
At the Wachovia Center.
Oh, okay.
And I actually have a pair of tickets that I can offer to you to give away today to any of your listeners for tonight's show.
Hey, that's nice.
No problem.
Hey, we'll figure out a way that we can do that before we leave the air. I love these things. You know what else occurs to me, Ike? You took me to the final Spectrum concert ever.
Well, no. We haven't said we're going to still have events at the Spectrum.
No, bro, because that would be the final one. The two of us together with my son was
a bonding moment that we had. But
Foo Fighters.
But the Cure have come in since May, and we have a couple more shows to announce soon. But the Spectrum will be very active this year in our last year. We're celebrating.
This means a lot to me because I have to do the math. This ticket stub may have been the first concert I ever attended. It's not my stub. It's Dennis's. Seals and Croft. I always thought it was Seals and Crofts. Seals and Croft, February 17, 1973. My cousin Bill took me with my brother to see. It may have been this show. I have to do the math. That was the first show that I ever saw. Anyway, here's why Dennis is here, because there is a transaction I would like to broker, Ike.
Okay, let's do it.
Can we get you a cup of coffee? Do you get a bagel? Would you like something? What can we do?
A bagel would be nice, little whitefish on the side.
All right, TC, bagel for my man Ike in here, please. A little toots. All right. You want a cup? Get him a cup, hon.
Wait, do I get a squeeze? Do I get anything?
You get all of that.
Okay, just making sure.
Here's what Dennis wrote to me. I'm Dennis Parrish. If the name looks vaguely familiar, many years ago I sent you a replacement for Wish You Were Here at your law office. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It's an awfully nice gift.
You're welcome.
Then he shares some personal information. I have a huge favor to ask, please. Before they tear the Spectrum down, please help me in my pursuit to obtain the actual actual seat that I sat in for my first concert at the Spectrum, July 16, 1969, when I saw Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, Ginger Baker, and Rick Gretsch in Blind Faith. I sat in the lower level, Section H, row 7, seat 14. I still have the ticket stub. If you can get me in touch with whomever can make this happen, there he is, Dennis, right there. I would truly appreciate it. I'm not asking for it for free. I can donate to a charity or something like that, yada, yada, yada. Can we grant him his wish?
Well, let's try to do this the best way that we can, because we haven't decided how or what we're going to do with the chairs. That's number one. Number two, that seat, Section H, row 7, seat 14, is probably a Sixers season ticket holder or a Flyers season ticket holder. So we haven't even figured out how to do that. But we have. You said I could broker a deal, so let's try a deal. I brought you a gift, Michael, and you can do whatever you want with this gift.
Tell me.
So I just have to make a little room for this, so you have to allow me.
Seriously? All right. And I'm looking through ticket stubs.
This was actually your seat when you went to the Spectrum for a concert and sat on the floor, and you can do what you want with this one.
What concert did I sit in?
Wow.
I don't know. You went to a Yes show a few years ago back at the Spectrum.
That's great.
But it has your little tush mark there, and you can do whatever you want with that. You could keep that, or you could give that to Dennis.
That's your seat.
That is your personal seat at the Spectrum.
That's your seat
That is
from when?
phenomenal. Look at how in the back it's imprinted Spectrum.
That is an amazing gift.
You know what? I think the proper thing for me to do. You're a good man for bringing that, Ike.
Thank you
Look,
very much. Gum under the seat.
Right.
We need another one. I know how this is going to go.
I spilled a beer on the left front leg of that
It's
thing.
still
There's some bong water on there.
This is your
mine.
chair. You can do whatever you want with it.
All right, I choose to give it to my man, Dennis Parrish, because he's a loyal listener, and I think it would mean a lot to Dennis. Dennis, how do you feel about that?
That's great, Michael. I really appreciate it. I would still.
He still wants his Section
I
8
still
row
want my
7. I can understand.
Keep
We have
the
to look
chair.
at how we're going to do this. We haven't even announced what we're going to do with the seats. It's too early for us to even determine. But in the meantime, you can have this seat courtesy of Michael.
I really do appreciate
Keep
it. And I
the
got to
chair.
tell you something, Mike. When I sent my daughter an email and told her I was doing this, she replies back, "Great, you'll have another seat in your living room," because I only have one seat in my living room.
We have one chair in your living room?
Yeah.
Where's that from? IKEA? I mean, it's not from a stadium, right?
No. It's just a seat that I have. I don't even remember where I got it, but it's only
Man
one.
needs another chair for his
need
living
another
room.
chair.
All right, well, you got it.
Gotta be a special
It's a Spectrum. It is a Spectrum one.
Great.
So, Ike, you don't know what you're going to do, because you know what? I didn't want to sandbag you. What occurred to me is you got to do something with those seats.
I would imagine we're going to do something very similar to what was done at Veterans Stadium. We're trying to figure out logistically how to do that, when to do that. We haven't announced when the Spectrum is coming down. We're still celebrating this year, so there's more to come. And I think if you stay tuned, there'll be something shortly, but I don't have an answer for you right now. And I thought this might be the best way to solve Dennis's wish and try to help the listener.
You're a mensch. It's a phenomenal gesture on your part, and you of course knew me. I'm giving it to Dennis because I think he'll really appreciate this as much as I would appreciate it. He'll appreciate it even more. There are a lot of good memories wrapped up in that building. Do you know, Ike, that the very day that it was announced, the plans, just by coincidence, I was doing a show from down the shore, and Bernie Parent was my guest. So, I mean, to be with Bernie on the day that people are reminiscing about the best ever, this, that, or the other thing, was a wonderful thing to talk to him.
There will be so many memories for so many people because the Spectrum, everybody can relate to their first something. Their first concert, like you said, Dennis, excuse me, their first hockey game or their first basketball game. People grew up in the Spectrum. So everybody has an attachment to a special memory, and we'll never be able to take those memories away.
What are the shows from your perspective as sort of the historian and you know, building operator and so forth that people talk the most about? When they talk Spectrum, what do you often hear?
You usually hear a Grateful Dead story because they played more than any other band, 53 shows, or you hear a Springsteen story. And Springsteen, the three that come to mind is he played as an opening act in June of 73 for Chicago. And people thought he did not do well. Some say that he was booed off stage because they couldn't wait for Chicago to come on. Then in December of 1980,
unbelievable.
In December of 1980, and Dan DeLuca at the Enquirer chronicled this very well in a column recently. That was the night Lennon was shot.
Right.
And people were told, don't tell Bruce, it'll affect the performance.
Right.
He came out the next night and he told the audience this was a real tough decision. Steve Van Zandt had told me we should not play, and we decided to play, and it's one of those tough moments, and they opened up with Born to Run and knocked it out for 4 hours straight.
What's your personal favorite? Because you've certainly seen
it goes in and
yours
out
is
so
probably
many times. I'm a Van Halen fan, so it's probably the first time I saw them, but there were so many others. We had a show, I think it was in 93, it was called the New York Rock and Soul Review, and not too many people knew the artists that were in that show, but it ended up being Walter Becker and Donald Fagen, who tore it up and ended up making it a Steely Dan reunion, and that's one of my favorites, and I thought that was great. I thought the Eagles in 94 on the Hell Freezes Over tour was great, too. That was about 3.5 hours of nothing but the hits.
If someone has a very quick, compelling Spectrum memory and is available to go see the Police tonight, pair of tickets for the Police, it's tonight.
It's tonight, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that tickets will be available at the box office, and I'll even throw in complimentary VIP parking for your listener tonight as well.
Hit pound 1210, but do it immediately because Ike Richmond is very gracious in making that offer. This to me is the mother lode of ticket stubs. Okay, Dennis has a Led Zeppelin ticket stub, $4.50, June 13, 1972. Do you remember anything about that show?
They were very good. Yeah, I remember a little.
Make something up for me, will you? They came out. They did Stairway to Heaven. Right. Here's what he remembers.
It's unbelievable to see
Jimmy
some of
Page
the
was on
acts
guitar that night.
that have played the Spectrum. It is one of the great rock venues in the country, and I think if you were to look at why that is, it probably is Ed Snyder had the vision to build it not just for hockey, but to be a multi-entertainment arena for the region. I think you have to look at Larry Magid being one of the greatest concert promoters of all time, and went out and brought bands to the venue. And third, this is a great town for fans. And if you look at it in sports, the fans let you know when you're having a good game and when you're having a bad game. Same for concerts. They let that band know when they're on and when they're not on, and the bands rise to that.
Hey, Dennis, were you at the JFK shows, 76 or 77?
I was only there one time.
Which one?
See Michael Jackson with my daughter.
Oh, okay. You did not. You missed. First, it was Yes headlining, and Frampton blew Yes off the stage, if you can believe it. And then the following summer, Frampton was the headliner, but Leonard Skinner was the opening act and blew Frampton off the stage. Wow. I may or may not bring that up to Peter Frampton in just a moment. This is Larry. Larry, impress us with your Spectrum recollection, and maybe you get the Police tickets for tonight.
Thank you, Michael. I saw Acre Winter with a girl I've been dying to go out with for years. She finally said yes. I take her down there. We're halfway through the concert. She throws up in my lap in a milkshake cup.
That's awesome.
It's going to be hard to top that.
I'll never forget it.
I think
I think he deserves the Police tickets.
Ike wants to know if you're bringing her tonight.
That's what I want to do.
I would love to take her.
He married her, and she's coming tonight.
I think I'll wear a wetsuit.
She's the mother of my 3 kids. Hang on a second. We'll. All right, that's Larry. This is Perry. Hi, Perry. Perry. Hey.
I was at the Zepp show 1970. It was a Tuesday night, and I
got to put him on hold. I can't hear it. How about this? Andy checking in. Hi, Andy.
in 1978, I believe it's the Blue Tour, ELO first concert.
ELO in 78.
Yeah, out of the Blue Tour, they had a big spaceship. It was like the first time for the big concert shows, where the big stage shows, lasers.
Did you ever see Dennis? You ever see ELO? I got a bad connection with him as well.
I don't remember ever seeing ELO.
You don't? I never got to see Jeff Lynne and the Electric Light Orchestra. I would have liked to. Did they come around on your watch?
They tried to a couple of years ago. They tried to reunite, but it just didn't get off the ground.
What size is that Roger Waters shirt that you're wearing?
What size do you wear?
You're probably like a 2XL, aren't you?
No, this is an XL.
You're a big dude.
This would fit you.
Really? What if I offer you the shirt that I'm right now wearing?
Are you guys going to switch shirts?
This is my Izod.
It's not my color.
The bright
I'm
orange?
tempted. I am very tempted to. I
But I don't know if it would fit you because you're a big boy.
No, I don't think so.
I got an orange Izod on here that I'm willing to. But the thing is, then I have the whole problem with Roger Waters because I love the music, but he's a handful. And I know you said he was a good guy.
He was a good guy. I agree with you. I don't fall under his same political views, but I think his music is spectacular.
This is Joyce on the Big Talker 1210. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, how are you, Michael?
I'm well.
Okay, I don't know if I can top the last one, but I can tell you I saw the first Elton John concert down at the Spectrum about 37 years ago, and my sister just celebrated her 50th birthday, and I bought her tickets, and we just went to Boardwalk Hall to see Elton John. Best night of our lives.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still a great performance.
Oh, my gosh. He didn't have a pink jumpsuit on, but he looked great.
I've seen Elton John a number of times, and I'll bet that was a great show to go see recently. Hey, Ike, Neil Diamond's coming to town.
Yes, he is.
How are they selling? I'm curious.
We're doing very well. There are
you?
tickets still available for the second show, which is Sunday, August the 10th.
What kind of a performance? I'm on vacation then. What kind of a performance is it?
I've always liked Neil Diamond. I equate it more to a rock concert. He is a great performer. I don't think he sings as much as he used to. It's more like a shout. If you've gone to Neil Diamond, you know what I mean, because when he does Sweet Caroline, it's more like a shout out to the crowd. And the crowd responds. It's a nice night. It's some cover tunes. I
want to hear him sing "I Am I Said" live.
Well,
LA's fine, but it ain't home. New York's home, but it ain't mine.
I'll tell you what.
No, I'm away. I'm on vacation.
Look,
we're away.
Come up.
We're
I'll give
not
you
down the
DeBella
shore.
seats. He's not coming.
No, I want Eskin seats.
I'll give you his.
Give me
He's not
Eskin
coming.
seats.
Eskin seat's right there.
Ike, we've been getting along so well, and all of a sudden now I've had a flashback into the night you brought me to Van Halen.
Why don't you come?
Sat down front with Eskin and DeBella, and I brought Greg as my guest.
Yep.
Remember, Greg?
Yep.
You sat behind the pole, right?
Yep, I did.
And you said to me, "Is that really David Lee Roth?"
I can almost see him.
He thought Sammy was singing.
No, Sammy's long gone. Why don't you come? Where are you going on vacation?
Come on, that's a double top secret need to know.
If it's a drive away, you drive up for the show.
I'd love to come see Neil Diamond.
We'd love to have you.
Do you go through phases where, like, you're in a Yes phase, you're in a VH phase?
I'm
you're
in a Grateful Dead phase right now.
Okay.
Big Grateful Dead phase.
I have a confession. I'm in a Neil Diamond phase right now. If you were to go into my car downstairs, you would find I don't know, they do these like collectible Neil Diamond and everybody else.
Sure.
What do they call it? Like the Ultimate or something? I'm listening to the Ultimate Neil Diamond, and every morning driving in, I'm listening to Neil Diamond. I'm singing "I Am I Said" on the expressway at 3:30 in the morning. Welcome to my world.
Well, I'm going through that with the Grateful Dead. I have a copy of Dennis McNally's book on my passenger seat, and I was listening to Scarlet Begonias on the ride over, so I know exactly what you're going through.
Ike, you're a good man. I really enjoy our relationship, and I didn't ask you to do this, but the fact that you do this for Dennis is a wonderful gesture.
Anytime we could help you or any of your listeners, we're happy to do it.
All right, give the throw up guy the tickets to the police.
Got it.
We can't top that, but he has to call her and ask her to go.
What?
That's what I just said.
I'll tell
Ike
Mary.
said that.
Fine,
He's got to
fine.
call that.
Edict.
He's got to track her down. I always see on Drudge up at the top. Did you go to high school with her?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? All right. So use that service.
Classmates.
You find her.
How are you
and
feeling?
How are you? It's good, TC. And you invite her to the show. And on that basis, you're going to the police tonight. Dennis Parrish, you are leaving with a Spectrum chair, my friend.
Thank you so much.
You now
Thank you, Ike. I really do appreciate it.
You now have 2 chairs in your living room.
I do.
All right. Call me back when you need a sofa.
Dennis and I are going to hook up later because that website, rememberthespectrum.com, we are asking people to send their photos, their memories, their ticket
he's
stubs.
your guy.
We're going to be spending the next 3 days scanning those tickets to put up on the website.
I know. Men, thanks for being here. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Proper thing for me to do. You're a good man for bringing that, Ike. Thank you.
Look,
very, very
have
much.
gum under the seat.
Right.
We need another one. I know how this is going to go.
I spilled a beer on the left front leg of that thing.
There's some bong water on there.
This is
not
your
mine.
chair.
You can do whatever you want with it.
All right, I choose to give it to my man, Dennis Parrish. Because he's a loyal listener, and I think it would mean a lot to Dennis. Dennis, how do you feel about that?
Oh, that's great, Michael. I really appreciate it. I would still...
He still wants the Section 807. Can you rewind that? He was just not effusive with his excitement, was he?
Not at all. Okay, hang on. Here
we have to go to his house. We may have to go to his house and take it back.
Okay, here we go.
Listen to this now. Dennis Parrish. Because he's a loyal listener, and I think it would mean a lot to Dennis. Dennis, how do you feel about that?
Oh, that's great, Michael. I really appreciate it. I would still...
Like, Dennis, you've won $1 million. What do you think? We've got Ed McMahon outside your house.
Here's what he thinks. Ready?
Oh, that's great, Michael. I really appreciate it. I would still...
He still wants the Section 8. Larry.
We love Dennis.
Larry,
such enthusiasm.
I need you to drive over to Dennis's house.
I'd love to.
Wrestle that chair out of his hands and
grab the chair.
Bring it
Get
back.
for you.
Okay. I'm glad you had fun last
we
night.
are so appreciative. Seriously.
Oh, come
Thank
on,
you
that's
so
terrific.
much.
I'm elated. It's always fun to go to a concert unexpectedly and have a good time.
Yeah, it's great, Michael. Thank you. I really
You guys
appreciate
are
it.
wonderful.
All right, talk to you soon. This is this Dennis?
Yes, line 2.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Mike, this is unfair. Come on.
Can you give me your address? I didn't save the letter. I got Rocco and Bruno headed toward your house. I'm going to call Don Baldini.
Hey, I'll tell you what, just check eBay. It's on. No, I'm kidding. Seriously, though, Mike, I'm very appreciative. But the first person I spoke to yesterday, said they heard the interview and they said, "Gee, you didn't sound very gracious about the chair that they gave you." And I said, "Oh my God!" I said right after I said that, which meaning I'd still like the other chair, I realized what that sounded like, and I felt like a fool.
Well, it was
I
just
really
you
did.
just didn't seem excited. Like you've got a real treasured item there.
Oh, I do, and I really do appreciate it. I'm just not like I guess I'm just not a jump up and down kind of guy with certain
that's
things.
great,
And
Michael.
I'm
I
very
really
appreciative, and I've been in touch with Ike Richmond since. He invited me down to the Police concert last night, and I couldn't make it.
Wow, Ike, what a good guy.
He's
I'm
inviting
very
everybody down.
appreciative of
Good
the
fella.
seat. The seat's right in my living room. I was sitting in it this morning listening to
Hey,
you.
by the way, I was kind of curious. I went home yesterday and you said you only had one chair in your living room. What is the one chair that you had before you got the Spectrum chair?
It's a green chair that oh man, you gotta embarrass me again. I found it in the trash and I liked it because it was really comfortable.
Well, what's going on? You don't have any furniture?
My living room is like a recording studio. So I'm a guitarist, my daughter's a guitarist, my late son was a guitarist. We did a lot of recording in there, and anybody coming into my living room, it looks more like a college dorm than a place where an adult would be living.
All right, but but you're doing okay, right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah.
All right. I was just worried yesterday. I thought, geez, what did he mean by that?
No, I'm doing fine, Mike.
All right.
And I really am appreciative.
I know you are. All right, Dennis. Thanks for yesterday.
All right, so long.
See you, pal.